He's ruining my life and he's freaking me out. Ooh. Jordan Peterson, round 2. Psychopathy, finally. Thank you. X. Psychopathy. I love hearing Jordan Peterson talking about psychopath.
Well, okay, this is fascinating because, again, you're a great interviewer. Well, I would love it if you interviewed somebody like Putin. So this idea that you are a fool in the face of psychopathy, it just doesn't jive with me.
I'm an agreeable guy. That's the problem. I'll give people the benefit of the doubt.
Right. But that's good.
Shenhorn is such a piece. Yeah, Shenhorn is ruining my life.
The way you reveal psychopathy is by being agreeable, not weak, but seeking with empathy to understand the other person, and in the details, in the little nuanced ways that they struggle with questions, the psychopathy is revealed. So, so from
these people kind of like it's kind of like Sherlock. These people are kind of like Sherlock Holmes, or kind of like House MD, or The Mentalist. They're kind of like Columbo, sussing out. Shenhorn owes me money for being a Jew. Yeah, Shenhorn owes me $6 million for being a filthy. All right, whatever. That's too far.
The two things. So one, overrepresentation of psychopathy online with anonymity. That's a serious, fascinating problem. But in the interview, one-on-one, I don't know if the job of a human being in conversation is to not talk to psychopaths, but to talk. I mean, like, how would you interview Hitler?
Well, I've had very difficult clinical interviews with people in my clinical practice, and
so how do you approach that?
Well, I really probably approach that the way I approach most conversations, and it's something like,
"Hey Hitler, why'd you do it? Why did you do it, Hitler?" I love it. It's just like the midwit like tier. It's like all the same things over and over again. They'll never, for me, I even get tired of covering this stuff and streaming because it's like same nonsense. It's the same waste of time stuff. But these people will never ever get tired. Like, why did Hitler? Like, dude, Hitler's not that interesting. Hitler is really not that interesting.
I'm going to assume that you're playing a straight game, but I'm going to watch. And if you throw the odd crooked maneuver in, then I'll note it. And after you do it 3 times, I'll think,
3 strikes and you're out, bucko.
Okay.
3 strikes and you're out, bucko.
I see.
Oh,
I thought we were playing
3 strikes and you're out, bucko.
Game, but we're actually playing another one. And if I'm smart enough to pick that up, that usually works out quite successfully for me. But I'm not always smart enough to pick that up.
But see, here's the nice thing. There's the one-on-one conversation that's not recorded is different.
Yo, what's this? Is this like a charged up like power crystal? Is this one of those power crystals that gay men hang around their necks and charge up at parties on the microphone? What is this?
And by a lot of people, because I would venture I trust the intelligence of the viewer and the listener to detect even better.
It's a Brill orb.
Yes, and I think that's true, by the way.
He doesn't have one.
Psychopathy.
Yeah, I've had the odd interview with people that I wasn't happy with having organized because I felt that I had brought their ideas to a wider audience than might have been appropriate. But my conclusion and the conclusion of my producers and the people I talked to.
That's one of the Iron Man chess gems.
Run the interview, the discussion, and let the audience sort it out. And I would say they do. So I think as a general rule of thumb, that's true. And I also think that the long form interviews are particularly good at that because it's not that easy to maintain a manipulative stance, especially if you're empty for like 2.5 hours.
Yes.
You get tired, you get irritable. You show that you lose the track.
That's me, dude. That's how I feel. Not easy for me to hide the mask. I live behind the mask of sanity, and I'm an insane freak. I watched last night, An American Werewolf in London. Good movie, though. But it really is just a comedy. And too much pornography in it. But it was a good movie. Too much pornographic material in it, but it was not scary at all. I thought it was going to be a little scary. It really wasn't scary at all. It was just a little gore, too much gore, a little Jewish gore. But I thought it was going to be a little scary or spooky. But it was good. It was funny. Very funny. I actually liked it a lot. The jokes were very funny. But That's my Halloween movie review for tonight.
You're going to start leaking out your mistakes. And
that
bro is leaking.
Is the case.
I'm dead. Jordan Peterson said, bro is leaking.
For all the world leaders, I would say 1 hour is too short. Something happens at like 2 hour plus.
Who knew the EMJ chat was full of homosexual retards?
Trusting the intelligence of the listener to sort of.
Are we A-logging EMJ, Ian Michael Jones? Let's see. Favorite John Carpenter movie? Ooh, probably The Thing. The Thing is probably, it's up there. Oh, In the Mouth of Madness, or The Mouth of Madness, is close. But The Thing, I think, is more Kino, whereas Mouth of Madness is more fun. It's more like exciting. Where I would say the Thing is just genuinely Kino.
After Vatican II. So yeah, Catholic Answers is defending a reservation that is empty. And if it isn't empty, it's got very few people in it. You know, from the days of when Carl Keating was talking about why, to fundamentalists about why the church is not the whore of Babylon. Those days are gone.
Of course I won, dude.
There's a new era, and
there's a chicken, and the farmer goes out every day and fucks the chicken, and the chicken thinks, man, I've got a good friend in this farmer.
Dude, I got snot. If you haven't noticed.
I was baptized in a Catholic church in the Philippines with a pouring of water on my head. Is that considered a legitimate baptism, or should I seek?
All right, I'm banning everybody on Cozy.
That is a traditional.
I don't like to see
baptism.
my numbers going down.
When he poured the water, the priest said, "I baptize you in the name of the Father,
Dude, who's he
and the Son,
talking
and
to?
the Holy Spirit." As long as he said those things, that's a traditional baptism.
All right.
All right, one more.
You guys are all being unbanned on Cozy.
One more here. Last one.
Hate seeing my numbers being so low.
Has Dr. Jones ever spoken with David Irving, or would he?
Yes.
What about David Duke?
Yes, it did. It already happened. David Irving showed up in Chicago. He was selling his books. He gave a talk. And I was there in the room.
The only person I'm not unbanning
it's the story
is a user named by the name Evan Zenker. This is when I first started streaming in Cozy. Somebody decided to make an account named Evan Zenker and troll me, and I said, "Well, this person is banned forever because I don't think that's their name. I think they're trying to dox me. I don't think they're in good. I don't think they have good intentions. I think they actually have bad. I'm also gonna leave. Big Bongo Band." Geralt unbanned. Cobson, Scourge of India is banned. I'll leave Cobson banned. Archaeology Groiper unbanned. Jeffy unbanned. Pine Fat banned still. Randy Marsh unbanned. Big Bongo still banned. Cobson still banned. Cobson, Scourge of India, really? Dude, there's too many people to unban. That's insane. I banned so many people in my life. That's crazy. All right, let's unmute this.
I had a nice dinner with him. We had a nice conversation, and it became clear all the white ladies are coming up to him and telling him how much they love him, and the white guys were coming up too. But he's like a celebrity in Nashville that has nothing to do with race. Another substantiation of my thesis.
Michael's
about
unbanned.
Religion always trumps race. That's true of
Donnie's unbanned.
Jason Whitlock in Nashville.
Boone Clemens unbanned.
All right, there you are, guys. Thanks again.
Jovian is
Live every
unbanned.
Friday at 5 Eastern Standard
Listen
Time.
Boots.
If you're not already, please subscribe to Culture Wars magazine at culturewars.com, and then all of
Euclid's
Dr. Jones'
still
books,
banned.
particularly
Some of
the
you
ones that
people
he's
I can
holding,
actually I remember who I actually
found at
dislike by doing this. All right, I'll leave.
Subscribe, like.
Some of you are still
video,
banned, but I'll leave you
You guys
banned.
know what to do.
Maculus.
Dr. Jones,
I'm gonna unban
words.
Maculus.
Yes.
Why not?
These are the books that Trent Horn should have read before he shot.
Dude, before he shot himself in the head, now he's dead. All right, let's watch this.
To detect that.
Yeah, and it might be the intelligence of the distributed crowd.
Mike Francesca.
I mean,
That's
that is
right.
what I've seen with the YouTube.
No, Michael, you're unbanned.
It's hard to fool people as such over a protracted period of time. And I guess it's
Mike
partly
Francesca's
because everybody brings a slightly different set of falsehood detectors.
This old man is not making his book suck.
That, it's pretty damn accurate.
But of course, it's complicated.
Bowden is pumping. Why is Bowden pumping? Let's check this out. We get back to psychopathy in a second. So we got E-girl pumping. Everything's pumping. This is what I like to see, because all my holds, except for H. Bowden. H. Bowden was a big L. I'm still trying to recover from the H. Bowden disaster. That was a big disaster. Kind of pissed me off. It should have popped off, but then they scammed. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, honestly. Life is so easy. But you should. If I didn't make that mistake, it'd be even easier. That's really the annoying part. But yeah, Bowden's popping off. If Bowden 10x's from here, ooh, that's free money. That's a free money for me. Look at this. But then you look over here, right? The big one, it's popping off. The biggest is Mamani here. Is Daddy Coin pumping? Dead cat bounce, you think so? I don't know. I think everything's being pumped for some reason. I don't know why, but I like it. We're going to wait for a 10x for each thing. Each one of these 10x's, goodbye. Never streaming again. Yeah, Daddy Coin is down. Oh, Dottie, not Daddy. I'm not checking Daddy Coin, right? If you didn't buy when it capitulated, you're dumb. Well, it's easy to say, dude. That's easy to say. I have a bunch of whatever, but it's easy to say that. But half the things that, not half, 90% of the things that capitulate never ever bounce back. So it's easy to say. Let's get back to this, though. Where's Jordan Peterson talking? Psychopathy.
Nazi ideology spread in the 20s. There was a real battle between Marxism and Nazi.
I just show a picture of Hitler. I say, give me the Hitler. I walk into a MAGA barbershop and I say, give me the Hitler. Trump style. They say, oh, okay. Oh, the Hitler Trump style? Here you go. And they cut my hair.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe there's some attempts at some...
When I was banned, I raised a lot of chicks to flex on you. I was watching Tate. Good for you, dude. Good for you. When you're my age, that will be inappropriate. So they get it in while you can still do it.
Censorship of Nazi ideology. Censorship very often does the opposite. It gives the fringe ideologies power if they're being censored, because that's an indication that the man in power doesn't want the truth to be heard. This kind of idea, and that just puts.
I'm not gonna say I'm part Slavic, all right, but I think like Jews and Slavs are both kind of idiots and shouldn't really be allowed to speak. But especially Russian Jews. Jews and Slavs should not really be allowed to commentate anything because they're morons.
Fire.
It also motivates the paranoid types because one of the reasons that
Jim Booner, I gave amnesty to so many people into Cozy Chat. Why are you talking like that? You should be nice to me now.
Paranoia spirals out of control is because...
I'm literally half Russian, half Jewish. Really? That makes a lot of sense, actually. That makes a lot of sense with your commentary.
Paranoid people almost inevitably end up being persecuted because they're so touchy and so suspicious that people start to...
I look more Russian than I look Polish, honestly. I really do look more Russian than Polish.
Walk on eggshells.
This is why I don't believe in God. Why? Because you suck. That seems kind of dumb.
Behind the scenes, and so then they get more distrustful and more paranoid, and eventually they start misbehaving so badly that they are actually persecuted, often by legal authorities, and, it's down the rabbit hole they go. And so, Musk is betting on that to some degree, right? He believes that...
Go to Poland, everyone looks like you there?
On
no,
Twitter,
I'm not going to... Oh, so you've been to Poland, so you're Polish. So you're just revealing you're Polish. I am not Polish.
Will sort itself out and be...
Look, Skibby D, who's part Russian, said that I look more Russian than Polish. I look way more Russian than Polish. I look either Estonian or Russian. Those are my two potentialities in Europe. Or Irish, too.
Benefit. And I follow a lot of really bad accounts on X because I like to keep an eye on the pathology of the left, let's say, and the pathology of the right, thinking, at least in my clinical way, that I'm watching the psychopaths dance around and try to do what their subversion. And it's an ugly place to inhabit,
KBD did say
for
that.
Sure. But it's also the case
I look Lithuanian? Do I look Lithuanian?
Tiny...
If any Eastern European ethnicity, Skibby D. Which Eastern European ethnicity?
Minority
Latvian?
of seriously bad
Would I be Latvian?
actors can have a disproportionate influence. And one of the things I've always hoped for social media channels is that they separate the anonymous accounts from the verified accounts. They should just be in different categories. People who will say
Ukrainian?
what they think.
Dude, there's no difference in Ukrainian and Russians, bro. You're just a Jew, okay? You're just a Jew.
And take the hits to their reputation.
Yeah,
anonymous types, if you want to see what the anonymous types say, you can see it, but don't be confusing them with actual people.
Yeah, I look like from Belarus. No, all the Eastern European people look like ugly, dude. My age, every single Eastern European man who's my age is bald and like missing teeth and drunk. There's no good looking.
Because they're not the same. We know that people behave more badly when they're anonymous. That's a very well established psychological finding. Well, and I think the danger to our culture is substantive. I think the reason that everything started to go sideways pretty seriously.
Women are different. I'm talking about people. All right, I'm talking about people, not women.
2015 is because we invented these new modes of communication. We have no idea how to police them.
Going for an hour.
And so the psychopathic manipulators, they have free reign. About 30% of the internet is pornography. A huge amount of internet traffic is outright criminal.
That tennis player from Serbia looks good. What are you even talking about?
You know, psychopathic, narcissistic, troublemaking trolls.
That's me. I'm a psychopathic, narcissistic, troublemaking troll. Raise your dongers if you're a psychopathic, troublemaking, psychopathic troll. Raise your dongers.
Might constitute the bulk of the interactions online, and it's partly because people can't be held responsible. So the free riders have free reign.
It's a fascinating technical challenge.
Yeah.
Of how to make our society resilient to the psychopaths on the left and the right.
Yeah. It might be the fundamental problem of the age, given the amplification of communication by our social networks.
And so to generalize across psychopaths, you could also
if you're a dark triad psychopathic narcissistic troll rat, raise your donger.
Yeah.
Which behaves similar to psychopaths in their certainty and not caring. They're maximizing some function. They're not caring about anything else. Attention.
Yeah. Short-term attention, even worse. Yeah, because you might, that's another problem, eh? Like if the algorithms are maximizing for the grip of short-term attention, they're acting like immature agents of attention, right? And so then imagine
my face shape is not Polish, you guys are retarded. My face shape is not Polish.
Negative emotion.
You guys don't understand.
More
you guys
attention.
Understand. It's the lens.
And short-term gratification garners more attention. So then you're maximizing for the grip of short-term attention.
Raise your
by negative emotion. I mean, that's not going to be a principle. If we were talking earlier about
apparently blacks are looting a train in Chicago. It's round Slavic head, dude. This is not a round Slavic head. What are you talking about? This is like a pure Aryan skull shape. Pure Aryan. Can we just be real? Look at pure Aryanness. Pure Aryan skull. Pure Aryan, pure Hitler. Thank you.
Unifying axioms.
Norwood?
That's definitely.
You're Norwood, dude. I know Norwood.
That's definitely one of them. Maximize for the spread of negative.
All right, listen. You guys are really starting to piss me off now. Imagine if Paulton had a reason to live. Yeah, imagine. Dude, imagine if I cared. Imagine if there's a reason to do things. Imagine.
Negative attention, negative emotion that garners short-term attention. Jesus, brutal.
I just
froze in the thick of it. Aryans had dolichocephalic skulls. Yours is a bit brachycephalic. Ooh, no hate, because I don't know what those words mean. Once I figure out what those words mean and they're not interesting to learn, then it's hate.
I tend to
let me look that up.
think there's that many psychopaths. So maybe to push back a little bit, it feels like there's a small number of psychopaths.
3 to 5% is the estimate worldwide
in terms of humans, sure, but in terms of the
dude, I don't know have a brachycephalic. Dude, that's like a disease.
That a lot of people on the extreme left and extreme right,
I have a dolichocephalic, dude,
are just young.
Dude,
people
I have a dolichocephalic.
Kind of.
This is bro. Give me a break. Okay, now I'm looking at it, dude. I have the dolichocephalic thing. I have the Aryan skull shape.
That we've been talking about, trying on the cynicism and the resentment. There's a drug aspect to it. There's a pull to that. To talk shit about somebody, to take somebody down. I mean, there is some pleasure in that.
Mm-hmm. There's actually no. Never mind. You're right. Okay, I found by the teeth. By the teeth. You're right. Okay. Hitler said Aryan. Polish people are Aryan. Hitler's retarded. Okay. Polish people are not Aryan. Polish people are Polish. Yeah, this is right. All right, this is me then. I don't look this way. I look this way. I have the more brachiocephalic. You're right. This is correct. I have this though. I have the mesoprocy. I have, well, I would say this is probably me, right? Would you say this is probably my skull shape? Mesoprosopy, or would it be this one? Probably this one, right? Are Jewish people Aryan? Hitler said it. Hitler said that Jewish people are Aryan. What's mesoprosy? Mesoprosopy. Oh, if it has the occipital one there, this is, I have this. I have the occipital one. Mesoprop. Mesoprosop. Mesoprosop. Identifying the misshapen head. Uploaded by Muhammad. Yeah, I saw that. But Muhammad's right, though. Facial forms, they know the face. Okay. This isn't real? You're not real, dude. I've seen people like this. Remember the guy that's like, then fucking die if you're not vaccinated? And he looks like this. This is the like, type of guy who says, then die, and he has the long and narrow teeth, like the horse face. I have more of the brachiocephalic. Then I kind of have the mesophilic. Mesoprosopy. Mesoprosopy. Let's see what Muhammad Nahid has to say. College of Dentistry, University of Baghdad, Department of Orthodontics. That makes a lot of sense. Novel cytotoxicity of nano-coated orthodontic microimplants, an in vitro study. Pedodontists, that's a Jewish dentist. Pedodontist is another word for Jewish dentists. %, West Baltic. C. Franson, same as Milo. Yeah. I have the Eucubian skull. Oh yeah, maybe I should do the golden ratio. Face golden ratio overlay. Check this out. You guys ready? You guys ready to be freaked out? Let's go here. Take a screenshot of my face. You guys ready to be freaked the F out? Check this out. Ooh, that is not a... I do not like Polish at all. You guys are gay. You guys are idiots. Actual idiot detected. Did really? Yeah, really, dude. They're gonna try to scam me for a golden ratio face. Well, let me do that. Actually, I can do this. I can just change the object opacity. Perfect. See the perfect female face. This is the female one, dude. This is the male one. What are you talking about? Perfect female face. Could transitioning have saved her? Could transitioning have saved her? Yep. See? That's my face. Perfect. Ask ChatGPT, analyze the faces. It got mine right. What am I asking ChatGPT? All around. What am I asking? What am I supposed to ask ChatGPT? Let's get back to this before we do the ChatGPT trash.
Pull towards that, and I think
you watched the Yankees last night.
I think a lot of people. I mean, you see, when you say sadistic,
remember, guys, fill the bar. Fill the bar tonight, and I will shave my head live on stream. I will shave my head live on stream.
Like some kind of, it's a pathology.
It's pleasure in the suffering of others. Right.
But I just think that all of us have the capacity for that. All humans have the capacity for that.
Yeah, some more than others, but everyone to some degree.
And when you're young, you don't understand the full implications of that on your own self.
Yeah.
So if you participate in...
I've learned my own darkness. My darkness used to scare me until I embraced my shadow self. My darkness used to scare me until I embraced Shadow Realm. The Shadow Realm, I started to embrace my dark side. Now I've integrated it into my... I've integrated the shadow realm into my mentality, my conscious mind. My conscious mind has now integrated my shadow self. Now I am not scared by my darkness. Now I am not scared of my darkness anymore. I've integrated my shadow self into my conscious mind. The waking mind understands my shadow dark side. And I no longer fear my dark side.
People down, that's going to have a call.
I no longer fear my dark side. My shadow self has been integrated into the conscious realm.
Lost on your own development as a human being. Like it's going to take you towards the Dostoevsky's Notes from Underground, in the basement, cynical, all that kind of
stuff.
Dude, that's so awesome. My shadow self used to scare me, but I've integrated it into my conscious mind. And now the darkness within me no longer frightens me.
Which is why a lot of young people try it out.
That's good. I need to tweet that.
The reason is you get older and older, you realize that there's a huge cost to that, so you don't do it. But there's young people that, so like I would like to sort of believe and hope that a large number of people who are trolls are just trying out the derision.
No doubt.
And then so they can be saved. They can be helped. They can be shown that there's more growth, there's more flourishing to celebrating other people, and it actually and criticizing ideas, but not in the way of derision, LOL, but by formulating your own self in the world, by formulating your ideas in a strong, powerful way, and also removing the cloak of anonymity and just standing behind.
It's so funny, so awesome. My shadow self. My shadow self used to scare me. Now I've integrated my dark side into my conscious self, and I no longer live in fear. My shadow self. Bro, this is when Warzone was at peak. Warzone used to be so goated. This is the original Warzone map, I think. And they had the Warzone duos and stuff. And it was so legit. It was so fun. The first Warzone was the best Warzone, honestly. It legit used to be so amazing. Lex needs to take the ultimate load. Fall Town, is there going to be Woodstown tomorrow? Yeah, there is. But Warzone, the original one, was the best one ever. Now it's lame. But maybe I'll hook up the Xbox. I haven't used the Xbox in a while. I'll hook up the Xbox to the TV and install the Warzone on my Xbox. And instead of watching a horror movie, I'll give my girlfriend the horror movie experience by playing Warzone on our plasma for hours instead of watching a movie tonight. Maybe that's the deal. Maybe that's the horror movie she'll see, is me playing video games and what I could become, pure gamer. But I think, honestly, if I played a video game right now, I would do really well at it because I have been working out, so I feel like my reflexes are better. I'm actually kind of curious to see if I played Warzone or if I played Rainbow Six Siege, if my like it looks really bad from this angle, if my reflexes would be better from boxing. You know what I mean?
On your ideas.
Yep.
And carrying the responsibility of those ideas. Yeah.
I think all of that is right. I think the idea that that's more likely to occur among young people, that's clear. People, as they mature, get more agreeable and conscientious. So we actually know that what you said is true technically. It's definitely the case that there's an innate tilt towards pleasure in that sort of behavior, and it is associated to some degree with dominance driving. And I do think it's true, as you pointed out, that many of the people who are toying with that pattern can be socialized out of it. In fact, maybe most.
You know how to make psychopaths chill? Is give them what they want. Okay, here's how you do it. You give them what they want, and then they'll be chill. The reason they're like doing bad things is because they don't have what they want yet. You got to give them what they want, and then they'll relax.
People, even the repeat criminal,
unless they're Jewish. If they're Jewish, take everything from them because they'll never be happy.
Tend to desist in their late 20s. So imagine that.
Paul, did you get more agreeable and conscientious as you aged? No, I've always been very agreeable and I've always been very conscientious. I'm more happy now because I have more of the stuff I want. I'm more happy because I have food. I can go out to eat. I can drive around. I don't have to have a job. I can sleep in. And I don't get bugged by people as much. And I can do what I want. And I have swag. And I know I'm better than other people. And so I'm more agreeable in terms of happiness. Like, I've done enough stuff. I've done enough bad things in my life where I feel like I can, like, chill out. You know, I've already violated every norm, every good thing, every law, every commandment, everything in the world I've violated. So now I own it. I own everything. I own the universe.
Criminals commit 65% of the crimes.
Yeah, Woodstown will be on Rumble. If you go to woods.town, you'll see it. I've purchased woods.town, and it'll redirect to the Rumble page.
Imagine that 1% are the people that you're really concerned with. They often have stable patterns of offending that emerged in very, very young, like even in infancy, and continued through adolescence and into adulthood. If you keep them in prison until they're in the middle of their late 20s, most of them stop. And that might be the easiest way to understand that might just be delayed maturation. So are most people salvageable? Yes, definitely. Is everyone salvageable? Well, at some point it becomes, first of all, they have to want to be salvaged. That's a problem. But then it also becomes something like, well...
Did you know Lols is streaming on Twitch now? I did not know that, but I wish him the best. I like Lols a lot. Lols is very nice.
How much resources are you going to devote to that? Like, the farther down the rabbit hole you've gone, the more energy it takes to haul you up. So there comes a point where the probability that you'll be able to get enough resources devoted to you to rescue you from the pit of hell that you've dug is zero. And that's a very sad thing. And it's very hard to be around someone who's in that situation. Very, very hard.
And it seems that it's more likely that...
What's crazy about life is it's very easy. Like, this is the reality. If you have an IQ over 100, but especially if you're like me and you have an IQ over 140, which is not a joke, which is crazy, but it's real, then, or 150, sorry. Life is easy. So, like, all, like, the drama and all the stuff, it's like, yeah, I'm dramatic. I'm over the top. I'm very, like, attention whoring, like, annoying, like, I exaggerate and stuff. But really, now that I'm in my 30s almost, life is not hard, dude. It's just easy. You can do whatever you want and get away with it. All right, you're dealing with idiots. You're dealing with idiots and morons all day. You just live your life. It's not that complicated. Like the craziest red pill really is the fact that like health. Like somebody sent me a super chat yesterday. Like, I used the Polish drugs that you purchased, that you told us about, to stop using Zyn, and it worked. Thank you. And I deserve more than $5 for that. Honestly, they probably spend about $30 a month or $30 a week on Zyn. So you multiply that by 10, because 10 months, that's $300. All right. I did that in my head because I'm smart. So I probably deserved about $300, or maybe 5 years, 10 years of that. So $3,000 instead of $5 for stopping their addiction. But it's like that. All the health stuff, especially the health stuff, like stuff to prevent illness, stuff to cure illness, stuff to like augment your body, such as trenbolone, the steroids I take, all that stuff, and dutasteride, finasteride, minoxidil, all that stuff that Veda knows that I take. Adderall, meth, crack cocaine, marijuana. Well, I love weed, mushrooms. It's all available online. You don't actually need to go to a doctor. You don't actually need to get prescribed anything. And you can do that sort of stuff, like vitamins. I take like beef liver supplements and that sort of stuff, because I don't want to eat actual beef liver because it's disgusting. You can all do it. You can do it right away, and life is not hard. There's no real problem. Society is not really an issue if you're smart.
The leaders of movements are going to be psychopaths, and the followers of movements are going to be the people that we're mentioning that are kind of...
No, the leaders of movements are sociopaths. Sociopaths are driven by like some like deficit. Sociopaths are driven by like some desire to be happy or loved or like cared about or have influence, whereas psychopaths don't really have that desire. They don't really care. They don't actually care. They're kind of bored.
Lost themselves to the ideology of the movement.
In all seriousness, Paul, you look a lot healthier than 2023. Thank you.
Sent $5.
I am a lot healthier. Dude, I love Mr. Pendex, Mr. Fox. It's good. Trent Horn, when he sees a Holocaust denier meme. How Trent Horn feels when he sees my Jewish chud tweet at him. Thank you. Paul Town Natty or not? Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad. Oh, this is what I was going to tell you. Desmoxin. That was the drugs. Desmoxin. I got a jacket today because I was going out. I got a little windbreaker. I reached my hand into the windbreaker, and it was like a moment of pure... I don't know how to say it. It was just pure, like, time stopped, because there was a opened but unused thing of On nicotine, 20 of them, 20 pouches just sitting there in my pocket. I looked at it and I was like, I could have one. But then I threw it out. So I was like, yep, I'm actually not doing this. So nice. I liked how Grand Budapest Hotel was filmed, but there were some moments I didn't like. For example, the Indian. Well, that was the craziest thing about watching An American Werewolf in London. Was there's so many Indians already. So many Indians in London. Very odd to me. How many Indians there were in like the 1980s in London. Very weird. Now they were all doing like loser jobs. They were doing like orderly jobs and like doing janitor work. But it was very interesting to see how many Indians the British people had in London already.
We know that what you said is true.
Yeah, so then I tossed the nicotine thing. Nick is a psychopath. Nick is a psychopath federal agent.
And historically, to a large degree, because Germany was successfully...
I'll send you $30 if it helps me stop smoking. Oh, dude. You don't even need to send me money. I would like it. I would like your money. But check this, dude. Check this out. It's available. Right, online. You get this. Buy this. Literally just buy this. It'll come in Polish, so you won't be able to read it. Just buy this Desmoxin on what's it called? Amazon. Good to go. You won't even use all this stuff. It is good. Paul's using his platform to promote health and fitness. Yeah. Good stuff, Polish W, and it'll fix it, dude. It'll fix you. You literally will be done smoking easy, as long as you don't want to smoke. You just take it while you're smoking, and you'll get less and less of a desire to smoke. You don't have to worry about like quitting cold turkey. You just take this in addition to smoking, and you'll eventually just be like, and you'll just solve it. It's just like easy. It's crazy. It's not really pushed because it works. It works so well that it's not pushed. It's like one of those things where like the hippies are like, well, if they make you healthy, they can make you. You're not their slave anymore. You're not going to continue paying them. So that's why they keep you sick. How do I become an American? You'll never become an American. Sorry. Now, your kids could be an American if you move to America and have children in America. But being an American is a thing that I'd say like 5th generation you could become American.
Well, okay, this is fascinating because again, you're a great.
Also, if you have to be like a criminal and you have to be violent. Be a criminal, be violent, be insane, and then come here. But you have to be a violent criminal, not like a loser.
Well, I would love it if you interviewed. Bathroom break. If we can descend from the realm of ideas down to history and reality, I would say the time between World War I and World War II was one of history's biggest testing of ideas. And
yeah, I need to link up with Aiden Ross. Know what I actually want though? That's not what I want. What I really want is I want Nick to do workout streams with Aiden Ross. I want Nick and Aiden Ross to become like workout buddies, where they like do workout streams together and they both get super fit, and they forge an unlikely friendship. They forge an unlikely friendship, true friendship. Respect each other and really are friends, and they have a fun time together, and they both get healthy and fit in the gym. It'd be so funny too. People would seethe so hard. People would seethe so hard about it, and they get so mad that a Jewish guy and Nick are working out together, and they would get so mad and they get so upset. Both the people who hate Nick and people who hate Jews would get mad, and it'd be awesome.
Dramatic kinds of ideas that helped us understand the nature of
that sounds homosexual. I wonder if dysmoxin works for alcoholics. I don't think so. There's a different thing for alcoholics. Alcoholics are alcoholics. There's a drug you take that makes you feel sick when you start drinking, and that's because alcoholism is a lot different. Alcoholism is a different urge, psychological urge. There's like obliteration of consciousness, whereas nicotine is more biological, or nicotine is not like related to being miserable. Nicotine is more related to like the trick of like the trick of the nicotine receptor, whereas alcoholism is like I'm miserable in a certain degree. To a certain degree, I'm miserable and I'm trying to like escape. I'm trying to escape my psychological torture
and evil. I just want to ask you sort of a question about good and evil. Churchill, in many ways, was not a good man. Stalin, as you've documented extensively, was a horrible man. But
Hitler was a great man.
You can make the case that both were necessary for stopping an even worse human being in Hitler. So to what degree do you need monsters to fight monsters? Do you need bad men to be able to fight off greater evils?
It's everything in its proper place is the answer to that. You know, we might think that our life would be easier without fear, let's say. We might say that our life would be easier without anger or pain. But the truth of the matter is
what
that
is your biggest regret?
Are beneficial, even though they can cause great suffering.
I don't have any regrets. I don't have any regrets, dude.
But they have to be in their proper place. And that capacity that could in one context be a terrible force for evil can in the proper context be the most potent force for good. A good man has to be formidable. And partly what that means, as far as I can tell, is that you have to
not being born a 6'3" PSL god.
Be able to say no. And no means, like, I thought a lot about no working as a clinician, because I did a lot of strategic.
Don't wish your life away. Just do things. Be a man. Be an alpha.
With my clients in a lot of extremely
be an alpha male like myself. Although I think the reason I look a lot better now is not even because of health things. I think is I literally got a better camera, I got a real webcam instead of using Arduino cam. It's like the Arduino with a camera attached. It's like a project. I have a Razer webcam, and that just like the lens is better. My biggest regret is wasting so much time, man, watching a stream.
I learned to take apart what no meant, and also when dealing with my own children, because I used no sparingly, because it's a powerful
My biggest
weapon.
regret is not killing Jeffy, says Michael.
Let's say, but I meant it. And with my kids, what it meant was, if you continue that pattern of behavior, something you do not like will happen to you with 100% certainty. And when that's the case and you're willing to implement it, you don't have to do it very often. With regards to monstrosity, it's like weak men aren't good. They're just weak. That's Nietzsche's observation. That's partly, again, why he was tempted to
The soy boys.
place the will to power, let's say, and to deal with.
Nico reveals he's officially signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Kick. My biggest regret is
that notion
is not getting multi-million from a streaming site. That's my biggest regret. My biggest regret is not getting free money to do nothing. As much free money to do nothing as like for whatever reason. Not understanding. Let's see.
Start the birthday special. Somebody in this room needs to make an announcement, and I'm gonna let them make their announcement now. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I am, you can go to kick.com/Sneeko. I'm gonna join Kick.
My biggest regret is not being in the thick of it. Yeah, my biggest regret is not being in. This is how I feel, knowing I'll never get a multi-million-dollar contract. Over. I missed my shot. I'll never get a multi-million-dollar contract. And I'll never be in the thick of it. And everybody knows. And everybody knows, dude.
In a manner that, when it was tied with the revaluation of all values, was counterproductive. Counterproductive in the final analysis. It's not like there wasn't something to what he was driving at. You know, formidable men are admirable, and don't mess with them. Douglas Murray's a good example of that.
Douglas Murray's a gay guy, dude. Douglas Murray shoves penis up his butt. This man is not formidable unless you're a child. All right, this man's butthole gets raped. Let's just be real. I'm sorry to be so crass, but I feel like we should be honest. This man has penis go up his poo-poo hole. And this is not formidable to anybody. Anybody who has penis go up their poo-poo hole, I don't really find formidable. All right. This man willingly does what people like have nightmares about going to prison and have happen to them. PP goes up his poo-poo hole. All right, this is not formidable. Why would I ever take somebody who like puts a penis in their butt? Seriously.
He's a rather slight guy.
Can we just be real? Can we just be real? Why would I ever take a man who puts a penis in his butt? Seriously, ever.
Got a spine of steel. And there's no more than a bit of what's a monstrous in him. And Jocko Willink is like.
Yeah, I'll never see. This is my problem. I enjoy saying stuff like that too much. I'll never get a deal. I'll never get a Kick deal or a Rumble deal.
Like that. And
that's
Joe
okay,
Rogan
though.
is.
That's life. That's life.
Like that. And you're like that.
But there's a different level. I mean, if you look, to me, Churchill might represent the thing you're talking about. But World War II, Hitler would not be stopped without Stalin.
Well, I wonder, yes.
And if I may insert into this picture of complexity, Hitler would have not stopped until he enslaved and exterminated the entirety of the Slavic people.
Ooh.
The Jewish people, the Slavic people, the Gypsies, every.
Yep, Hitler would have killed all the Slavs. Let's just be real. Hitler would have killed all the Slavs too. Hitler, it was just the Jews first, just to get to the Slavs.
Everybody who's not Aryan. But then Stalin, in the mass rape of German women by the Red Army as they marched towards Berlin, is a kind of manifestation.
It's crazy because that was actually Jews doing that. Also Slavs, though. Let's just be real. Can we just be real? The Russian men did do that too. But a lot of it was Jewish people pretending to be Russians doing that.
The full monstrosity that a person can be.
You can easily be in a situation. You can easily, unfortunately, find yourself in a situation where all you have in front of you are a variety of bad options. You know, that's partly why, if you have any sense, you try to conduct yourself very carefully in life, because you don't want to be in a position where you've made so many mistakes that all the options left to you are terrible.
Ooh.
And so you said, well, was it necessary to ally with
Smart
Stalin?
water for a dumb man.
Well, it's very difficult
Smart water for a dumb guy.
to second guess the trajectory of something as complex as World War II, but we could say casually, at least as Westerners have in general, that that alliance was necessary. Now, I think the mistake that the West made in the aftermath of World War II was...
Russian orcs are just savage, only for Jews in order for them to rape. You're Jewish too, dude, so... Look, I would say yes, Slavs are a little more likely to do kind of freaky stuff, but there's no white group that's as depraved as Jewish people. Jewish people are more depraved than any sort of white subgroup in the world. And that will always be true.
Not dealing as forthrightly with the catastrophes of communism as an ideology as we did with fascism. And that's especially true of the intellectuals in the universities. I mean, it was very common when I was teaching both at Harvard and at the University of Toronto for the students in my personality class, where we studied Solzhenitsyn, who's actually an existential psychologist in many ways and a deep one. None
100 years apart.
of them knew anything about the Soviet atrocities.
What did Solzhenitsyn say about the Jews?
About what happened in Ukraine.
I bet he won't talk about Solzhenitsyn talking about the Jews.
Productive people had no idea that the communists killed tens of millions of people in the aftermath of the Russian Revolution.
And they know even less about Mao and the Great Leap Forward.
Right. Which some estimates are 100 million people. Now, you know, when your error bars are in the tens of millions.
Honestly, though, it's kind of good. It kind of is like a W. Like the Great Leap Forward, it's like, ow. Because those are unlucky people. They died. It's kind of a eugenic thing. A mass genocide, or that sort of thing, is kind of eugenic, because it's like people with bad luck and the people too stupid to get out of the way get killed. Everybody else who's smarter survives. So it is eugenic in that way. Everybody who has bad luck naturally just gets killed.
Well, that's a real indication of a cataclysm, and nobody knows how many people died from direct oppression or indirect in the Soviet Union. 20 million seems like a reasonable estimate. Solzhenitsyn's upper bound was higher than that.
And how do you measure the intellectual output that was suppressed and killed off? The number of intellectuals, artists and writers that were put into the gulags.
Farmers.
Bad luck is bad genetics. Yeah, bad luck is like genes. It's written into your like this. I'll tell you this. There's like multiple times in my life where I thought I was gonna die. I should have died, but I didn't die. And it's because like of my genetics. I'm just lucky. And like the universe bends to make sure I don't get killed until I complete my mission. And that's just streaming for years. So I was like, that's good luck. I have good luck in my genes. You know what I mean? Whereas if I had bad luck, I would have died many years ago.
Anyone who was willing to tell the truth, right? Absolutely. So, yeah, catastrophic. And so I think the West's failure wasn't so much allying with Stalin. I mean, it was Douglas MacArthur who wanted to continue.
Yeah, I look like Douglas MacArthur, kind of. See how I kind of look like him? See that?
He thought we should just take the Soviets out after the Second World War. And they removed them from any position of authority where such a thing might be made possible. And people were tired. But was MacArthur wrong? Well, he certainly wasn't wrong in his insistence that Stalin was as big a monster as Hitler, or bigger. So the valorization of the leftist proclivity, the radical leftist proclivity, is the sin of the West, I think, more intensely than allying with Stalin.
Ooh, that's good.
Tricky, nuanced topic.
The gains are crazy, though. The gains are crazy. How am I even natty if the gains are this good, dude? The gains are just insane. It's kind of crazy. I think I'm going through a second puberty.
Modern day and the threat of communism, Marxism in the United States. To me, it's disrespectful to the atrocities of the 20th century to call somebody like Kamala Harris a communist. But
it's just disrespectful.
The sort of escalation of the extremeness of language.
How do I become a successful anti-Semitic streamer? You don't. You don't.
When you call somebody like Donald Trump a fascist, then it makes total sense to then use similar extreme terminology for somebody like Kamala Harris. But maybe I could ask your evaluation. If you look at the political landscape today, somebody like Joe Biden,
your relative brain size will decrease and make you dumber, Paul. That's what I'm hoping for, honestly. That's really, honestly, I'm hoping I get punched in the head a few times. Or IQ goes down a little bit. Enough to become just hilarious. Because if I get some brain damage, I'll become even more hilarious. And then I'll be able to make even more... and become even more funny. Until I'm a legend. Until I'm an absolute legend.
The first thing I would say is that I think that viewing the political
Gary Busey style
of today as a political landscape is actually wrong. I think it's not the right frame of reference. Because what I see happen...
Dude, I'm 30 years old, okay? Listen, people who are talking about that are weird freaks, dude. I'm a 30-year-old. I'm old, bro. I'm actually middle-aged. I'm a middle-aged man. I'm a middle-aged man. All right? That type of language is just disgusting. I'm a middle-aged human being. I'm a middle-aged man. I'm not a child. I'm not an adolescent. You're a freak, bro. You're a legit freak. You know what I mean? Relax. Yeah, I'm a middle-aged man. I'm not a child. Not with your pedophile language.
Are a very small percentage of dark tetrad.
30 years ago or 100 years ago, people my age would have grandkids already. Okay, 100 years ago, the men my age would already have grandkids.
Personality types: so Machiavellian, manipulative, narcissistic, wanting undeserved attention, psychopathic, that makes them predatory.
All the time you think you'll ever be a dad?
Parasites.
Who says I'm not already?
Because that goes.
Who says I'm not already, dude?
Three. That's about, in the serious manifestation, that's probably 3 to 5% of the population, and they're generally kept under pretty decent control by civilized people and stable social interactions. I think that their machinations are disinhibited by cost-free social media communication. So they're
Bro needs to get on Urbit. Bro needs to get on Urbit.
Proportionate influence. Now, these people want undeserved recognition and social status and everything that goes along with it, and they don't care how they get it. Because when I say they want that, I mean that's all they want.
I need that. I want it. I need it.
On social media, you mentioned yes, but are you also suggesting that they're overrepresented in the realm of politics, politicians, and so on?
They're overrepresented in the realm of fractious political discourse because they can use ideas. First of all, they can use, let's say, the benevolent ideas of the right and the benevolent ideas of the left, either one,
dude,
and switch back and forth as a camouflage for what they're actually up to.
So how do you've interviewed a lot of people and you have a really powerful mind. You have a good read on people. So how do you know when you're sitting across from a psychopath?
I wouldn't say that I do know. In normal social circumstances, we have evolved mechanisms to keep people like that under control. Let's say that you and I have a series of interactions and you screw me over once. I'm not going to forget that. Now, I might not write you off because of the one time. But if it happens 3 times, it's like, we're not going to play together anymore. And
I'm not playing your game. I'm not playing your game, Dark Tetrad Demon Troll.
In normal times, most of our social networks are connected and interacting. So, like, if you ripped me off 3 times and I noted that, I'm going to tell everybody I know, and they're going to tell everybody.
Balltown, if you had to pick one, would you rather be a crackhead or a meth head? Meth head. Crack is too fast. Crack is like a bell ringer, like a fast thing. It's like for 30 seconds or it's even long. Whereas meth is like you can do things for hours, dude. Meth is like you're staying up for 8 days and you're doing like stealing things and you're like running around naked and you're having fun. You know what I mean? Meth is a lot more fun because you can do things long term. Whereas crack is like kind of lame. Crack is like 30 seconds of fun. You know what I mean? I'd much rather be a meth head. But neither. I would honestly be neither. If I had to choose, I wouldn't. But if I was forced to choose, I would choose meth. But I wouldn't choose either.
They know, and soon everyone will know, and that's the end of your tricks. But that assumes that we know who you are and we're in continual communication. Well, all of that's gone online. So anonymity does that, and so does the amplification of emotional.
All Town Bookhead is talking about you. Good, nice. I'm glad.
Intensity by the social media platforms and their algorithms. I think what we're doing, this is happening on Twitter continually, is we're giving the 5% of psychopaths a radically disproportionate voice. And what
normies are so funny. Like, they talk about this stuff and then they're like, these people don't have empathy, they're dark tetrad, and they're abusive. Let's take away their rights. It's like, you actually don't have empathy and you're abusive. You're going to take away my rights? You're going to take away my rights because I don't like cry about retarded things? This is actually just you trying to do what you're saying I would do. I'm not doing anything. I'm chillaxing. You know what I mean? Literally, like, are you retarded? You're doing what you're saying other people are doing. You're having no empathy. And it looks like he's about to grope boobs. Why does he look like he's about to grab some boobs? See that? Michaela's not high IQ, dude. Michaela's low IQ. But it looks like he's about to molest somebody.
What they're doing is there's a bunch of them on the left, and they're all, we're so compassionate. And there's a bunch of them on the right, and at the moment they're all, we're so Christian and free speech oriented. It's like, no, you're not.
Nick Fuentes. We're Nick Fuentes. And you have the ones on the right who are like, we're Nick Fuentes, and we deny the Holocaust.
You're a narcissistic psychopaths, and that's your camouflage. And you hide behind your anonymity, and you use...
I have an IQ of 132. What's yours? He does not have an IQ of 100. That's number one. That's not even high. Okay, which doesn't.
Fractious and divisive language to
fractious. Every time it says fractious, I think of Alice in Wonderland, Scrumptious and Fractious Party.
Attract fools and to elevate your social status and your clout. And not only that, to
no, I have not cops and Grover.
What would you say? Satisfaction for your sadistic impulses.
I never had meth. I never had meth. Meth is not my speed. Speed is better than meth.
Problem is, it's hard to tell who is the psychopath and who is
methylated amphetamine. That's what meth, right? That's what meth is, right? Methylated amphetamine. Amphetamine is just better.
A heterodox truth seeker.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, if you were charitable about Tucker Carlson's recent interview, you'd say that was exactly the conundrum he faced. And it is hard. Like, I've thought about, for example, interviewing Andrew Tate. And I thought, I don't think so.
The guy had sex with his daughter. Bro, imagine interviewing the guy who had sex with your daughter.
And then I thought, why? I figured, it's not obvious to me at all that
Peterson had a waking dream of his grandma. Oh yeah, his grandma made him put genitals. I don't know if you guys know this about it. He had his dream where his grandma makes him rub unmentionables in his dream. His naked grandma makes him rub her unmentionables. That's crazy, dude.
He wouldn't charm me. So I knew this guy, Robert Hare. Robert Hare was the world's foremost authority on psychopathy. He established the field of clinical analysis.
That's a picture of me behind it.
Of psychopathic behavior. And Hare was a pretty agreeable guy.
What's my IQ? So, my IQ is 158. Do you think Keith has a higher IQ? Yeah.
You know, he would give people the benefit of the doubt. And he interviewed hundreds of serious psychopaths, like imprisoned violent offenders. And he told me in one of our conversations that every time he sat down with a violent offender psychopath, and he had a measure for psychopathy that was a clinical checklist, so he could identify the psychopaths from just the, say, run-of-the-mill criminals. Every time he sat down with them, they pulled the wool over his eyes. And it wasn't, he videotaped the interviews. And it wasn't until later when he was reviewing the videos that he could see what they were doing.
W, perhaps.
But in person, their tricks were more sophisticated than his detection ability.
Well, okay, this is fascinating because, again, you're a great interviewer. Well, I would love it if you interviewed somebody like Putin.
That's so funny. Let's see Robert here. I want to see Robert.